Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, it's not working without you guys. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up those football guys. Wake up there this morning. How are you guys doing? Man, it is hump day. It's the middle of the week. It's the first week before the playoffs begin. Come Saturday and Sunday, we've got playoff games. And sadly, the Dallas Cowboys aren't part of them for the second year in a row. And this is the time that the team has to look inside itself and figure out what went wrong with this season. We brought in Mike McCarthy. We thought we got a Super Bowl winning coach. We had COVID. We had injuries on the offensive line. Defense couldn't take away the ball the first half of the season. The offense couldn't hold on to it. Offensive line was decimated. We lost Dak Prescott. We had a ton of different things that happened. So this begins, and I know, it's like, oh, the season's over, but it really isn't as far as the planning. Yeah, the games are over, but you have to understand, football's not like when I grew up. When I grew up, when the football season was over, the players weren't making a lot of money, so a lot of guys had well, no, not a lot. The guys had regular jobs in the offseason. There's Chuck McNair. All you Eagle fans that used to be here, Concrete Charlie was his nickname. Even though he hit people like a concrete truck, that's not the reason why they called him Concrete Charlie. They called him Concrete Charlie because he did cement work in the offseason. You needed a new driveway or sidewalk? Call Concrete Charlie. He'll hook you up in the offseason. But now football is a 365-day-a-year job. The guys that just finished football, they're getting operations. They're getting their body fixed. They're beginning to do workouts. In a couple of weeks, you'll see the players, out, in Arizona or Florida and stuff, throwing the football and things, running routes. They are working all year round to get ready for next season. And some guys need a whole lot more work than others. But Jerry realizes that Dak Prescott getting that thing done is a priority for the team. Whether you are a Dak hater or lover, think that he's the answer, not the answer, it's amazing because I'm sitting here bleeding green. I think that's the name of the Eagle thing. They actually posted on their site, wouldn't it be great if the Eagles traded Carson Wentz, the Cowboys franchise tag Dak, and we got him in 2022? The Eagles. All my friends that are Washington fans are like, you don't want Dak? We'd be happy to have Dak. We've seen pictures of him like in a 49er uniform or a Bear uniform, Colts uniforms. Everybody is hoping that Jerry Jones decides to not shit, but get off the toilet and let Dak Prescott get out there. You think it was a frenzy for Kirk Cousins? It'd be even bigger for Dak Prescott. So Jerry Wayne Jones says Dak Prescott has all the leverage. Well, we were told that we were close. If we had had another 2 hours back in July, the deal would have been done. Okay, why aren't we picking up right where we left off there? We've been hearing it's a priority for the last couple of years. It's been a circus. What are we waiting for? Now, again, I'm told I am a you just love Dak Prescott. You love Dak Prescott more than the Dallas Cowboys. No, I recognize that Dak Prescott is the best option for us. And as you look around the NFL right now, you look at the 49ers thinking, Jimmy Garoppolo can't stay on the field. What are we going to do? You're looking at the Colts who are paying Jacoby Brissett and Philip Rivers and realizing we need to upgrade. We need to do something for a long term. You look at Washington that's got Alex Smith who's gone on a surgically repaired 19 surgery leg and a calf where they stole some of the muscle out of it to put it into the other leg. You're looking at a Washington team that drafted a quarterback first round who 2 years in, he ain't worth crap. You're looking at a New York Jet team that traded up to get a Sam Darnold 2 years ago that now is looking and saying, we need another quarterback. We're looking at a New Orleans team that brought in a Jameis Winston who was a #1 pick and say, well, is he really going to be able to help us? We'd rather have a running quarterback out here instead of him. And, of course, there's the Eagles, who had all that draft capital that went up for Carson Wentz, to realize it's time for Carson to win. It's time to get him out of here. And now, with the second-rounder quarterback, you kind of screwed him over by pulling him in a game that you had a chance to win. You see my point here about quarterbacks? There's not a lot of them. And there's a lot of teams that are in the market for them. And you could say draft, but how many good quarterbacks are there in the draft this year? 2 or 3? And you could look and say about 7 of the teams that are in the top 10 all are thirsty for a quarterback. And you have one that's arguably top 5, at least top 7, or easily top 10. You don't have to give up any draft capital for him. All you got to do is pay him. But don't take my word for it because, again, I'm just a Cowboy homer, as you say. Let me go to Speak For Yourself. Speak For Yourself is so much better of a show. It's actually one of the best shows that are out there. We don't get the yelling and skip, and mind out. You don't get that. And since they got rid of Jabba the Hutt, they are actually a really good counterpoint show that I really do enjoy.
And want to know why? You want to know what else ends? Life ends, brother. So it's a part of life. Get over it, Otto. And don't use that as an excuse to you young ladies because you can't commit. That's your issue right there. You ain't slick. All right, let me talk about why this is so important if you're a Dallas Cowboy. Anyone connected with this organization, especially the players, to see Dak get his due. Because you imagine putting on that helmet, the star. You used to work there. I used to put on that helmet. Not well, but I put it on. And when I put it on, you always want to believe in the winning culture. Even when you're not feeling it. Those days you didn't want to practice, but you did because of the culture. Because you knew the outcome you wanted on Sunday. You buy in. And when you look at a culture that is being reset in Dallas right now because of Mike McCarthy and how this team is going to be ascending, culture is not just sayings and mantras in the weight room. Dedication, desire, determination, all those. You know, we see the poise, confidence. You know what it is? It's actions and behaviors that are rewarded. That's what culture is. You come to this show, I go to your show, wherever it is. Whatever is deemed successful, whatever is being rewarded through action is what the culture is. Okay. So in Dallas, the culture has to be reward success. You've seen this offense with Dak, and you've seen this offense without Dak. First, let me give you the full screen of the Lone Ranger. That is Dak Prescott this season. With Dak and without Dak. Look at the points per game. Oh, my God, is that 11 in difference? Yards per game. Goodness, big gap. Yards per game in passing and yards per play. All of that adds up to same offense, same offensive coordinator, same broken down offensive line, same broken down running back, but Dak Prescott was there to save the day. Now it's on you, Jerry Jones, to address this and save the day by rewarding him. Let's bring in someone who knows a thing or two about football. Fox NFL analyst Bucky Brooks. So, Bucky,
go get him, Bucky.
Should committing to Dak be the Cowboys' top priority?
Absolutely. Let me put on my cape for a minute and transform into a little E40 because I'm a Captain Save 'em right now because Dak Prescott has, look, the best thing that happened is he didn't play. So we got a chance to do all of that speculating. Andy Dalton is the same as Dak Prescott. And then Marcellus, you put up the full screen and we saw that's not the case. And so Jerry Jones is correct. Dak Prescott has all of the leverage because now they've played this out. He has proven that he's not only an individual playmaker that can get it done, but the team misses him when he's away. And so if we go about it and we look at Dak Prescott and what he's done, because the first thing that you have to do, every coach will say this, we want to go to the playoffs. The easiest way to do it is to win your division. Well, when I look at Dak Prescott, he is 14-3, getting at a 82.4% clip. And then when you go and you look at some of those things, because people will tell me, hey, quarterback wins aren't a stat. Okay, well, let's look at the individual stuff.
Okay.
When we look at him individually, he is 8th all-time in passer rating. Then you look at the numbers that he put up. It took Andy Dalton almost a whole season to match what Dak Prescott did in 4.5 games. And so we have seen this play out. We know he is worth getting paid. Now it's where does it come in? And I would contend this. When you go back and you look at his draft class, Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. I think if we reshuffle the deck, Dak Prescott is the first quarterback taken off the board. If those guys are getting 33 and 32 million respectively, Dak Prescott has to get the cheese, and the cheese has to be large. So, yes, it's the number one priority. We know exactly how this is going down. Hey, reach in your check, but Emmanuel, you may have to make a donation for Jared.
All right, so don't take my word for it, okay? These are Cowboy haters there. But the reality is, you know, a quarterback, unfortunately, everything goes down to the quarterback, win or lose, okay, rightly or wrongly. When you look at that stat, 32.6 points a game, at that same time we were scoring those many points a game, our defense was giving up the same amount. It's not a recipe for winning. What I pointed out yesterday, which is kind of interesting, the Cowboys defense did better going down the stretch. They got the points given up per game average down to 29.6. To put that in perspective, we look at Pat Mahomes and their offense and say, man, that's unstoppable, man. That offense is the bomb.com. He's the best. The way they put up points is unbelievable. The amazing thing is Kansas City puts up the exact number, 29.6 points a game, that our defense averaged giving up. So if you look and say Kansas City's offense is incredible, you got to look and say the Dallas Cowboys defense is atrocious. 473 points given up on the season, 36 points more than any other Dallas Cowboys team. Now, one more point I want to put in here before I get out of here. Jerry says we need to put, every dollar we save on Dak is money we can put towards the defense. I feel what you're saying, and that's true. Point A, how many times have you actually put money on the defense and it's really panned out? Point B, when Dak Prescott was a rookie, getting $680,000 for that first year, which he also got the second year and the third year. That enabled you to get out from under being in cap hell that every offseason that we were like $25 million over. It got you out from under Tony Romo's contract as well as Dez Bryant's. When you had those 3 years of under $1 million for your quarterback, and the fourth year, which was only $2 million, where'd the money go that was supposed to be spent on the defense? Jerry, you got your discount. You got your bonuses. You had time to do all of that when Dak Prescott was one of the lowest paid quarterbacks, not starting quarterbacks in the NFL. This thing done so we can stop with all of this stuff, all of this hate. We are stronger together, and getting this done will hopefully bring this team together and get them focused on Dak Prescott getting his body ready, and we can focus in on getting ready for the season. Oh, and one other point, too. The other reason to get this thing done. Understand, and I don't know exactly what Dak Prescott wants, and I know the Cowboys want a long-term contract. But one other point I want to put out there is, if you go ahead and do, let's get crazy here, okay? Kirk Cousins in Minnesota got an $89 million fully guaranteed contract for 3 years. Then he got an additional 2 years for $66 million on top of it. That's $150 million guaranteed that Kirk Cousins has gotten. Kirk Cousins has made over $200 million, guaranteed. he doesn't have to play another play in his life. Go out there and just blow Dak Prescott and his agent away. Like they said, Dak Prescott's got enough money that he doesn't really have to worry about it. Come out with the $250 million contract. But go ahead and put some of those years in the end that aren't guaranteed, and you can backload it. Put voidable years in the contract. Go through and say, we're going to pay you $40 million a year. Make that first year team friendly. Pat Mahomes is a $450 to $503 million contract, right? But take a look at what it actually costs them the first years and stuff. It isn't until like 2023 that he's getting over $40 million a year. He signed that deal to give them flexibility to keep the team together. And if you do something like that, where you make that first year $20 million, and you can do that because the guaranteed money is divided up by the length of the contract. You could go through and say, we're going to pay you $1 million this year. We're going to give you a $50 million sign-in bonus. And, we're going to prorate the other stuff on there and turn around and have about a $25 million deal. Because then you can do a little restructuring of Amari Cooper, Zach Martin, and you could have money, as you say, to spend on the defense. And you've got a quarterback that feels the love that is going through the offseason without this cloud hanging over his head. You got a team that realizes, hey, they did right by the quarterback. That's my team. That'll be all in and understanding that you're not playing games. Believe me, I believe that originally Andy Dalton was brought in here to try and put pressure on Dak Prescott, to try and make him go ahead and say, hey, we can replace you. Well, the Cowboys bet on themselves, and they lost the bet. Now it's time to pay up. All right, y'all. I appreciate you being here. We're going to be working on getting some different things together for you guys. It's the off season for me. Every year, what I had done originally, this was my first locker, and it used to be actually over here. And then the next year I added another locker, and then the next year I added another locker, and that's where we got here. This past off season, of course, I ended up adding the computer system, which allows me to use multiple cameras and things like that to, different views and have, all these screens and be able to pop the videos and stuff like that, and the multiple sets. So I'm trying to figure out what big thing I can do for the set for this year. And I think I've got an idea, but it's going to cost a big chunk of change. But it would really take my set and studio to a whole nother level. And I'm going to be working on that. And we're also looking at actually expanding our reach into different media platforms. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to become a channel member, we're going to be doing channel member only videos and things like that as well. We're going to be doing Zoom calls, and we're going to be planning something really, really big for the draft. So with that being said, I got to go to my day job because I got to get some money to finance all this stuff. I hope you have a great hump day. Be safe out there, and I will see you